Am I the only one addicted to this freaking Clash Royale? This game is hella fun, but bro, actually happened. Now, I love this freaking channel because the stories are hella amazing, hella relatable, dude. By the way, check out, I come from a very poor family. Now, for me, easy relatable, but one thing I will say about me is a blessing. I got to experience being really poor, being just like kind of in the middle, and being freaking rich. I got to live both sides of life, dude. I'll go to the end about talking about that because I ain't gonna start getting up just going like a full rant like that. So at the end and kind of like midway, I'll tell my story. One thing I do want to tell you guys though, one thing I remember really bad though as a kid, I remember our lights got cut off like a lot, but I remember this one time, bro, like our water got cut off and we had to get ready for school in the morning. And now it is winter time and I'm in Michigan, so it's hella snow. And my mama gave me like, you know, those big old pots that most people make like chitlins or turkey. I hate chitlins, but like they make those like big Thanksgiving dishes in. I remember my mom woke me up like really early in the morning, like 5 in the morning, want to do before our neighbor woke up. She's like, you gotta go next door, turn the water on, and just fill us up with water so we can be able to bathe for like school or something in the morning. So as I'm over there and I'm feeling it, I'm like seeing the jar, I'm feeling like hella embarrassed. I got all these clothes on because it's snow outside. So I'm in this backyard, like under here's like water thing, what do you call it? The outside water pump thing or whatever. And I was just filling it up. And I think he kind of knew and felt bad because I to this day, I still remember I looked up and I just saw him looking out at me, but he never said anything. And I just felt hella bad, but I didn't run. You know, I just looked in shock, like, oh my God. And I just filled it up. And that thing was heavy. So I was just carrying it back and like some of the water was like spilling over. And the snow also was hella cold, bro. That's why even though I love being funny and like roasting people, because I mean, when you kind of grow up in the hood, that's the one thing you guys roast each other. Some people, you just gotta know it's a joke. But I never really attack people like money wise, like being poor. Because even when I did get to the point where I had money, like, I know how that feels to like not have money, but even to make it seem like you do, like trying to act like you don't, is really a bad feeling. But anyway, by the way, check out I Come From a Very Poor Family by Actually Happy. You want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below, but let's go.
Hello everyone, my name is Carlos, and I have a very inspiring story for you. I come from a very poor family, and I have found a way to help them and improve our lives significantly.
Hey, that's dope.
Illegally immigrated in the US when I was only 3. In our country, we were dying of hunger, as it was impossible to get a job. My mom was pregnant with my younger brother, and our only hope
I never
was
understood
money.
why
My
like
dad
super
could
poor,
send
but I
us.
keep having
In the
kids.
meantime, he
My
was
mom
trying
did
to
that.
legalize himself so that we could join him and start a dignified life. When we came here, life improved greatly, and we finally were sure that we had something to eat daily. Our new life seemed nearly
And that's the stuff you
luxurious,
appreciate.
and I was proud of my dad for what he had achieved for us in all these years of hard work and suffering. When I went to a new school here in America, I noticed that still there was difference in levels of life between my family and the others. I was wearing the old clothes I was donated, while everyone had new ones. Everyone got smartphones, and I couldn't dream of a phone. I remember that episode
Man, I remember
when
days
a
like
teacher
that.
at school asked everyone who they wanted to become as grown-ups, and everyone said a
Mega Man.
doctor or a lawyer, while I said I wanted to be a janitor. The teacher started telling me off. She said that a person must be ambitious and aspire to the best. Everyone
I mean,
was laughing at
she's
me.
right though.
I was
She didn't have to
so
say it like that.
embarrassed and sad. I had to respond silently that I wanted to be a janitor just
Like his
like my
dad.
dad.
Yup.
It seemed funny to my classmates. And I even got a nickname, the janitor. We had a
Wow.
big family. There were 5 of us siblings, and I was the oldest
Yep,
one.
same. 5 of
Mom
us,
was
I'm in the
not
middle, though.
working, as she was taking care of the babies, and that salary was not enough. So, still as a child after school and on all the holidays, I started working, mowing neighbors'
Yup,
lawns,
never
cleaning,
stops.
walking the dogs and things like that. When I was lucky, I even earned a decent sum. I brought all the money I earned home, and they were added to the common budget. I was watching my classmates going on summer vacations with their parents, while I was doing
Yup,
odd
'cause-
jobs for
Like when I was a kid, I used to always like watch like Kids in My Neighborhood do stuff like get new clothes, get new phones, get new games, go on vacations. Like we never got to do stuff like that until a certain point, which I'll talk about at the end. But for us, I've never in my life been to like I have not. At that age, I've never been to like a sit-down restaurant where people go like Red Lobster, Olive Garden, Red Robin, wherever you go that's like a nice sit-down restaurant. We never ever got that. It was on a good eating for us was we got enough money to probably get McDonald's or something, Burger King, something like that. Burger King was really good up because it's like McDonald's was always, but like Burger King was the up. But because for one, it was a lot of us, was a big family, and we were poor, so all of us on the Red Lobster, that'd be like an easy 100, 150 bucks for all of us. And my mom was not about, she couldn't spend that on food even if she wanted to. So I know what you mean about that. And I remember watching like a lot of my friends go to like Cedar Point, like their mom taking on stuff like that. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's kind of a big thing where it comes to like, in like Cleveland, Ohio, whatever. I think it's in Ohio somewhere. But I remember I always wanted to go. I did, yes. I have went as I got older. We started to go because I started to be able to get money and go with my friends. But I remember watching people do things like that, and I was like, man, I want to go so bad, but I could never do stuff like that. When it comes to new games, I always had to rent games, and that was only on the weekends when my stepdad got paid. I could never just like buy a new game when it came out. I even had to do like bad stuff, which I did, like either to the mall and steal. I was a kid, don't judge me. Or I had to wait until my mom decided to go to the video store so I could rent the game. So I got like a couple days for her to play it. And I used to like her kept trying to beat it. That's probably why I'm so addicted to games now. Because I knew I only had a couple days, so I had to play the hell out of it if I wanted to beat it or actually experience the game, because it had to go back. So I know what he means by that. Like, it hella sucked to see stuff like that, but at the same time, honestly, I feel like it makes him, like Carlos, people who go through that, a better person. As long as they're aware of what's happening, they acknowledge like, yo, it's not the end of the world. It's just I just have the short end of the straw, because life is not over. Like, trust me, you're gonna grow up to be able to build better because you know the meaning of a dollar. But anyway, I'm not here to preach. Let's get back to the video.
Morning till night, but I was not envious at all. I was happy and proud.
See, I just said
had
that.
This possibility to contribute, and understood that my earnings made our life a lot easier.
Yep.
Important was that we all loved each other and gave a lot of support to each other. Of course, you can't live it all work and no play. I had a passion of mine, which was music. I was not very loved at school, and it was so depressing to be isolated from everyone.
Contest.
Music for me was the way to retreat from that
water.
all. What I liked the most was playing the trumpet.
Hey, I played the
My
trombone.
music teacher liked me a lot, and she was convinced I was very talented, and she even gave me private lessons for free to help me develop my skills. I was a solo player in the school orchestra and was very proud of it. I imagined my future being a modest worker and maybe playing in some band in the evening, and felt that it would be anything I would need from life. However, turned out that life had other plans for me. My music teacher organized an audition for me at a very famous music college so that I could enter it after school. I actually was very reluctant.
Ooh, you be
as
hella
I
scared.
definitely couldn't afford it, so there was no sense in going there.
Well, not
But she
scared,
said
nervous.
that sometimes life gives us surprises. I had to
Oh,
go
that's
just
true.
not to disappoint her. During the audition, they asked me to improvise, and suddenly, due to my nervousness, I got carried away by the music. I thought
bet they
about
loved it.
my parents, my brothers and sisters, and tried to render this warm feeling into music. The result was breathtaking. Seemed that I managed to impress them. They told me to expect the outcome in a couple of days, and I went home without too much hope. However, when I
That'd be
got
the-
a call, I got a proposal that seemed
Yep. When you just feel like you
everything
just
I could
know you
need from
failed it,
life.
bombed it.
To enter the college
That'd be the
without
ones you get.
tuition, and even with a small scholarship for students in need. I didn't think myself as a huge talent, but clearly, they decided otherwise. But I had to refuse. They thought I misunderstood, but I really refused, as I had enough time to think it over. My family needs me, I explained. I can't let them down. I earn money, and without it, their life will become much harder. I need to
Damn.
contribute, so I'll have to go to work full day as soon as I finish school. They asked me not to refuse immediately, to discuss it with my parents and listen to their opinion. I told my parents about the call and proudly informed them about my decision. My dad looked at me strange and asked, "Hijo, are you an idiot? This is the chance of
Exactly,
your life.
almost as a parent,
Having my children break
I
their
can't
backs
hold
for
my
a
kid
minimal
back.
wage. It's not what I was struggling
Like,
all these years for.
I'll struggle.
I didn't expect
you
it.
go ahead and
I
be
was
great.
so surprised.
I'm out of water.
But I
Dang
asked,
it.
but I wouldn't be able to contribute. I won't work. Ah, come on. We are adults. We will work out
Exactly,
something.
yep.
We are not starving after all. I am a senior now, and my college is waiting for me. I can't wait. I am practicing music all the time, and I am
Hey.
also working a lot to contribute something before I leave. I see bright future ahead of me, and all this is thanks to my dad. Apart from giving me this opportunity, as a result of his hard work, he taught me that I need to calculate chances and set the priorities, and that it is a shame to waste your talent. If you have
Oh
one.
yes,
I
that
am
is
sure
super
I will
true.
be the most motivated student ever, Because when I start work, I would be able to give my family back all the support I have received from them in order to make my dream come true. Hope you find my story inspiring.
This is why I love these
and if
stories,
it is so,
bro, man.
Please
Because
put a like and share it with everyone.
So
if you have
easy
had
to
similar
relate, and they're so good. I love the way it kind of put you in your, well, at least if it's personal if it hits home for you, like it does for me, like at least the ones I watch kind of put me in my feels because it kind of hit home. It's funny because even though I'm already in America, I get what he meant by when he got here, the schools were really different. Like everybody was getting everything, everybody had everything, which I don't know. I've never been that big on just giving my kid everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna just make it be poor on purpose if I have it. I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna do a little more, what I want to do a lot more than what my parents are able to do for me as a kid. Because I feel like that's why you work hard, because you want to give your kid more than what you have. But at the same time, you don't want to just throw it at them and make it like, oh, you just don't do anything to earn it, because then you make a spoiled brat in this world that everybody's gonna hate, and probably including you. Like, I hate spoiled people. But I remember what really got me. So when I tell you guys, I was lucky enough to live on both sides of the field. So one day I remember as a kid, which really hit me to this day, that made me cry one day on the way to school. So I'm on my way to school and I had the same outfit on for 3 days in a row. Now, don't get me wrong, I always been like a goofy, funny dude at school. I was really quiet, but when I'm around my friends, I was a goofy, funny dude. Like, so roasting, you wouldn't just gonna roast me and end me like that. Nah, it wasn't gonna happen. So I was always funny, but I remember getting roasted about wearing this outfit the same day. And the second day I wore it, people kind of noticed, like, you had on blah, blah, blah. But our water was off. We couldn't wash clothes. I didn't have any clothes anyway. So I was just like screwed. And on my third day on my way to school, I remember going ready to go to school and I had the same thing on. And my boy, at the time, like throwback jerseys, all that stuff, like jerseys was hella in style, popular. My boy had just got a new jersey, whatever. He like hella geek, got his new forces. I never was able to get that stuff. And he was on the way to school. Now I was like, actually, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go to the store real quick. I'm gonna just meet you at the bus stop, whatever. But really, because I was getting emotional because it hit me, because I already knew what was happening, like what was about to happen. I got to school, like, man, I'm so tired of being this poor. But my family, you can never, from our house though, are really clean. That's why I'm super clean to this day. My mom, really clean person. Like if you came to our house, you would not be able to tell we were poor. But if you go to my friend's house who had everything, you can kind of tell they were like, ugh, like this house is like, y'all need to clean up, like type of situations. But I was walking and I just remember I just started shedding tears. I was like, man, it's just not fair. Like, I don't get why I have to grow where like sometimes my lights are off, sometimes our water is off. I never have any clothes. I remember for one of my birthdays, my mom, my mom know I love video games, but it's a very expensive thing to love as a kid. And she couldn't afford that crap. So she went to the dollar store and bought me a paintbrush and like some paint, because I used to love to paint also too as a kid. And I didn't want to like seem ungrateful, so I was like, oh, like I really loved it. But it's like, I was like, man, like I feel more bad for my mom, because as a parent, she can't get her kid what her kid wants, even though you're not supposed to throw it in, like I mentioned. But for their birthday, you want to spoil them a little bit. But she couldn't even do that on my birthday. So it was like, I know for her, it probably felt really bad. And then she had to make me a cake like from scratch, whatever. It was like really like beat up because she couldn't make a cake, whatever. Well, she could decorate a cake. She could make one. She couldn't decorate and make it look like the good, nice store-bought cakes. We couldn't afford none of that. And then I don't know what happened. Like, luckily, my sister and her husband, who she was with for like, they was together since high school. Let me make sure my camera's not dead. But my bad, just to get my camera back on point. But anyway, I remember because he played for Michigan State. I ain't gonna say his name, whatever. To this day, he's still in my life. This dude is legit like a big brother to me. Like legit. Like technically, he was my guardian at one point, but it doesn't matter. Like, so I remember he had got drafted. I never once I was like, oh, I'm just gonna use it for his money. He got drafted to the Texans. No, he got drafted to the Titans. And, I remember it was like the dopest thing ever. But to me, I've never been a sports guy, so to me, it was just like, okay, that's cool. What really like showed me like, oh, he got it now. I remember like that next day, you know how black people do. He came in a new, I think it was Expedition with like TVs in it, PlayStation 2 up in it. And I think like, oh, he got a game in a car, because I love games. So that's what made me like, all right, yo, that's my bro. Because I saw he had a game in the car. So I'm like, oh, it's hella dope, whatever. And I started to learn like what that mean. Like, yeah, him being drafted me, like my sister and him about to not live the good life. So they moved, man, whatever. And I remember on my birthday, my sister was always like my mom. On my birthday or Christmas, my sister would always like call me like, what you want? Because my sister was always there for me, and I always loved games. But I still remember, she's like, well, I'm gonna send, I almost said his name, so over there. He going to go ahead and take you Christmas shopping because he's in town in Michigan. I mean, shopping for your birthday. So he took me to GameStop, and he was like, what you want? I was like, well, I already got a PS2. I just want to get some games on it. He's like, didn't the GameCube just come out? I was like, yeah, I can't afford it though. I think I had a PS1 at the time. I don't know. But he's like, well, he was talking to the guy like, let me get a GameCube. I was like, oh, Pico, give me one. He's like, what games you want? I was like, well, I want that Luigi Mansion. He's like, let me get that. He's like, you play Main Street. Basically, he's giving me all this, like, you need a controller, you need a memory card. When I say, I was like, oh my God, I am loving this right now. And then one year I had asked, like, just jokingly, I was like, y'all should let me come live. This is how I ended up to Texas. At the time, he started playing for Texans at the time. So this is how I got to Texas. I was like, y'all should come let me like live with y'all, finish school there with y'all for a bit. She's like, you gotta ask him. And I asked him. He was like, he's dumb cool. Like this dude was legit like a big bro to me. And he was like, man, I don't care, come down. So my life, when I say instantly changed every day, you know the Black came out. New Jays before he even came out because he was a celebrity. So he had connections to like all these stuff, and he's still sponsored by Nike. So like, if you ever see me in like Nike stuff, whatever, no brag. Nike shoes, I say Nike shoes. Like even my old ones, I never pay for them because I just asked him like, you let me order blah blah blah. He don't care because he's sponsored by it, so it's free. So every day, new J's, new forces, new outfits. I'm talking about putting up in school in BMW. I kid you not, in a Rolls Royce fan. I'm a kid putting up in school in a Rolls Royce Phantom, bro. I kid you not. People look like, who was that? And this dude had a custom freaking truck, bro. A F650, not an F250, 450. A custom is an F650. Beyond huge, like a big semi truck on the road. Every time we were in this car, we driving. I used to see people phones out their window, like taking pictures. I was trying so hard to drive it to school one day, but he's like, no, you can't try that, bro. I'm talking about putting school and I remember this dude bought a Bentley, didn't like it, took it back, came back with a Rari, didn't like it, too small, and he ended with the I want to say the Rolls Royce, whatever. So I even went to prom in that mud. This dude had old school cars that he would hook. Like when I say that's when like I was like, that's why I always tell people I got to experience both sides because I experienced being hella poor to being hella rich, living that life, whatever. And like the house we was in, which is like freaking huge. Like our neighbor was freaking the Texas news reporter. Next to her was one of the dudes who played. I don't watch baseball. I forgot he played for, but he's from Louisiana. He wanted to put me on his wife. Just want to put me on Louisiana food. It's a long story. I'm sorry. Right behind us was Mike Jones' house. Mike Jones was never ever there though, like never ever. The house he had, and back then they didn't want me. Right behind me, I kid you not, I am not lying, bro. But anyway, so that's how I was like, I know what it feel like to be very poor and to I wouldn't say very rich because it wasn't my money, it was their money, but I was living with them. So like to this day, when I'm like in Texas, that's where I'm at. I mean, that's who else I go to. I still go to his house because he's still a part of my family. He's like seriously like a big brother to me. So. My bad for going on a long rant. You guys know what these videos do. It always send me down memory lane. I'm so sorry to like talk your ears off. But it's cool watching stories like this because he was seriously from nothing, but he built his own to help him and his family, and he's still on the way to building his own. So that's why I was like, yo, I can relate to this hella good. I'm sorry to talk you guys' ears off, bro. It's just, when I watch these stories, you guys throw the stories at me anyway. So I had to let you know, well, here's my connection to this story. If you guys enjoyed the video, if it's like, comment, share, you guys made. That's awesome. But Charlie's out.